So today I decided that we're going to do something a little different, and this is not Real Estate the Ugly Truth. This is a new series that I am starting called Changing Lifestyles, the Real Estate Edition. So going through a lot of my clients that I've dealt with in the past couple of years, I've run into many of them that are actually downsizing from a large home to a small condo, or just to another home like a townhouse, things like that. And I'm starting to realize there are a lot of things that they get stressed about that I'm not actually thinking about. Right? As a realtor, I'm thinking about everything, transaction related, like getting the home set up, things like that. And I find I'm missing a lot of things. And today I have my wonderful guest, Mary Dilly from Downsizing Solutions, who has multiple awards through entrepreneurship, and you have a bunch of them. The Entrepreneur Award.
You're embarrassing me. I have some community volunteer awards.
Volunteer awards, right.
Yeah.
So in other words, she's in the community, she's got her ear to the ground and knowing what people are looking for, especially when it comes to her business. Mm-hmm. Maybe you could tell us a little bit more about your business and what you're doing then.
So it's a great business. It's called Downsizing Solutions. It's a downsizing and moving company. So say someone has a house that's going up for sale, and we have clients that have been in their houses 50, 60 years. And they want to put the house up for sale and they want to move, whether they want to move to Florida or they want to move to a retirement home or a smaller house or a condo, wherever they want to go. They've been in that house, they've been living in that, they've been loving in that house for that amount of time. So they call us in to help them out. First thing we do is we go to the basement. We check out that basement, and then after we check out the basement, we go to the garage. Because you tend to put things in the basement that you don't need at the moment, and then before you know it, the moment turns into 7 years.
Is the basement half full or is it all full?
Oh, I've seen them. I've seen basements where you can't even walk down the stairs. You can walk down the stairs and peek. I love those. Those are my favorite. My
parents' old basement was full of a lot of stuff, and when they moved to the house they're in now, which was 15 years ago, a lot of stuff got bye-bye.
Yeah.
You just realized we don't need any of this stuff. So.
Yeah. So that's what we do. We come in, and the first thing we do when we talk to them is we figure out if they know where they're moving. And oftentimes I will go and look at the new place. If it's into a retirement home, I can get the floor plan. If it's a condo, I can get the floor plan. So we can then plan with them. And the first thing we do is we say, what needs to come? And that's important, not what do you want, what needs to come. And it's a simple process. We make it very simple. We walk around, we put green painter's tape on all the items that are coming with the client.
Well, the needs are easy, it's the wants that are the hard part.
That's the hard part.
You know the stuff that needs to come, but the stuff that you want to come, but what's the real reason why you want it to come, right?
Yeah, so that's where we do our most work, our most sensitive work, and the most challenging work for us, but we love it. So we will sit down with the client and go through everything. And say you have a set of your grandmother's dishes and you just can't part with them. But then that's my opportunity to say, when was the last time you used those dishes? Was it 20 years ago? And do your kids want those dishes? And if the kids don't want the dishes, which in most of the cases they don't.
Well, many times they're just the decor isn't what
of course.
Kids are looking for.
Or they have their own stuff.
Right.
So then we look at options for donating. I donate to a lot of families that move out of Halton Women's Place and new refugee families. So that really helps the clients to say, oh, you know what, the dishes that I grew up with will now go to a new family and they'll grow up with them. So that makes that process a little bit easier. So we go through the house, we can do as little or as much as they want. We can come in, we can downsize with them, we can pack everything up.
Do you pack all their stuff?
We pack all their stuff. So what we do is we take pictures of everything. So if they've got a flat to the wall.
I'm liking it for me, never mind for other people.
I know. So if they've got a flat to the wall with all their precious items in there, we'll take a picture of that before we pack it. And then when we get to the new house and we unpack,
you know where everything goes.
We know exactly where everything goes. And
you got to be pretty organized to be able to know what boxes are what, and
yeah, we mark everything. We'll even mark a box, under the kitchen sink.
That takes all the fun out of the randomness of what's in this box.
Yeah, well.
6 months later after you've moved in,
I'm glad I'm not married to you.
This isn't my box.
Because that's not fun.
I remember this stuff.
Yeah, and then when we move them to the new house, the boxes are all marked. So the the master bedroom. I don't think you're allowed to call it anymore. I think you have to
It's a
call
primary
it
bedroom
the
now.
primary bedroom now.
Be politically correct.
Yes. So all those boxes will be marked primary bedroom, and the movers will put the boxes in that bedroom. The movers will put the boxes in the den, in the living room, in the dining room, in the spare bathroom, in the primary bathroom, so that...
So they spend the next 6 months unpacking.
No, we unpack everything.
You unpack everything as well?
If they want. So we'll unpack everything. We make...
I've been doing it all wrong. All wrong.
Yeah, we make the beds. We hang the pictures on the walls. If you've got a TV that needs to be hung, my movers will do that.
You got guys that'll hang the big TVs, like with the brackets and everything?
Yeah, I have the best movers in the world. So we can
That's one of the number one questions I get from people is, do you know somebody that can hang my TV?
Yeah. Oh, of course. No, I have fabulous movers. So we can do as little or as much. And when I go in, and we do complimentary consultations, when I go in to do a consultation, and I will say, we can come in, we can pack, we can do this, we can take your furniture away for donation.
But they don't have to get the whole service. They can choose
they
either
can
to
say,
pack or just to move or just...
Yeah, they can say,
Okay.
they can say, we're going to pack everything.
Not everybody wants the whole thing, right?
No, of course not.
If you're on a budget and you want to just
Of course.
help unpack and move, then...
Yeah, yeah. Some people just say, we just want the movers, and that's fine. That's probably what
Usually the biggest
what you've
stress is
done.
them finding a truck, getting on the truck without destroying their stuff and getting it from A to B, right?
Yeah. So my biggest challenge is when people do want to pack their own stuff, they take too much. So that's why when we come in at the very beginning, it's better for, I think, for everybody, because we can help people decide what to take, what to donate. And you know what, when we donate stuff, I donate to women moving out of the Halton Women's Place and refugee families. So
Halton Women's Place is fantastic. We've donated there. My wife donated some of our projects to raise funds to donate to them a few years ago.
I love them.
COVID's been kind of quiet for us, but before that we were donating to Halton Women's Place as well.
Yeah, no, I love them. So I have a storage locker at Access Storage in Burlington. They're fabulous. They've given me that storage locker for the last 3 years. And so when I downsize somebody, say they've got a dining room table and chairs, because you know when you're in a house for 50 years, your dining room table and chairs, you've got 12 chairs around that
And
table.
usually that table is older than 50 years to begin with, because you probably got it from your grandmother and things like that, right? A lot of those.
And most of the time you can't take it with you. So it's very difficult for people to part with furniture like that. So I'm able to say to them, I can donate this to a new refugee family that's coming in. And so you raised your kids at this table, Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter and birthday parties and stuff. And then now we can donate it to another family and they can start the tradition. And I totally understand how hard it is for people to give their stuff away. I have a dining room table in my house that's 200 years old. It's a pine antique table. My mom was an antique dealer, and my dad refinished the whole table. And I have the table and the chairs and the corner cabinet, and that's what I grew up with at my cottage. So when
it's got personal energy in it and personal memories that are attached to that table.
Totally. So my kids are always saying, why do we have this old junk around the house?
Shut up.
I know, that's what
Why?
I say. I know. But so I have, when I walk into my house, my dining room is the dining room that was in my cottage that I grew up in 𝐬𝐸𝐶𝐫 my whole life. And so like at Christmas we were playing, we play a lot of games in my family. My kids are adults and they still, Friday night, what are we playing tonight? So
my parents still had board games in their basement actually that
oh yeah.
I think it was Sorry and Trivial Pursuit. They
Clue,
loved it.
Probably Clue.
We didn't have Clue.
Oh. Well, we've got
I had
all.
Operation when I was little.
Okay.
I loved that one, but that wasn't really a board game.
Yeah, don't tell anybody that. Anyway,
What?
so
I'm not that old. Come on, it was a great game. Oh,
So at Christmas this year, we were all sitting around playing Yahtzee, and the kids are throwing the dice down, they're screaming Yahtzee, and we're having a great time. And there's sometimes all the time adult beverages involved. And I took a moment and I stopped and I went. This is me growing up with this table with my parents at our cottage, and now I'm playing the same games with my kids on the same table. So I totally understand the feelings about having to part with furniture that you love and that was your parents, and I totally understand. So we're very empathetic and
you've had something for an entire generation almost. You become attached to it regardless of what condition it's in.
Yeah.
Like we've all gone into homes where there's the lounge chair in the corner that's the fabric is hanging off of it. And you're like, why don't you get rid of that chair? It's like you just don't understand what's attached to that chair.
Yeah.
When that chair was brand new, they enjoyed it. Now it's tattered, they're still enjoying it. Like it's part of the it's like part of the family, right?
I have clients that want to bring that recliner that needs to go away. But I have a lady right now, it was her husband's recliner. She can't part with it. So I have a rule. I have a number of rules, but I have a rule that if I'm moving somebody and they have to have that item, they can't part with it, then we make it work. We take that item. And so far, I haven't had a piano, thank God, but a grand piano. I'm thinking one of these days that's going to happen.
Can your movers handle that?
Yeah.
We know a guy.
Yeah, that's right. But
if we can't.
Yeah, so we're very sensitive to their needs, but we're also the ones there that say, you know what, you haven't used that set for 20 years, so let's find a good home for that.
What can we do with it, yeah.
Yeah, because the last thing you want is somebody to move into their new place and start to put the boxes in the basement that they don't need. Because you know what's going to happen? 7 years from now, those boxes are still going to be in the basement.
Yeah, we'll be doing the same thing again.
Yeah. So that's it. You can pick and choose. You can do as little as you want, or we can do as much as you want. Most of the people go for the whole gamut because the day of the move, they're gone. They go out with their kids and they come back and the house is unpacked. Dinner's in the oven.
I think the unpacking thing to me is got to be, I don't know about you, but to have someone come and unpack everything and I'm not even there and I come home and the stuff is basically where it kind of should be. You may have to make some changes, obviously, because the homes are going to be different, but at least the gist of it's there.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that would normally sit in boxes for months has already been unpacked and put away.
And your kitchen's
and you get to enjoy your home from day one instead of day 26, and you're like, oh my God, my living room is still full of stuff.
I know. And you walk into your bedroom and the bed's made, and you walk into your bathroom and the shower curtain's hung and the towels are hung and your toothbrush is there. I mean, it's just great.
It must be hard enough just moving from a large home to a smaller one, never mind getting the smaller one. It doesn't even feel like a home at that point.
Well,
like the condoitis, if you want to call it, you feel like you're in a much smaller unit, at least seeing your stuff already put away, and I think that would relieve a lot of anxiety for people.
Yeah, and when we're moving someone, like we take pictures of everything before we pack it, so when we move them back in, if the couch is on the wall and there was a picture hanging over the couch before, we put that picture back up on the wall. So most people walk in, and we've had people walk in and they have tears in their eyes. And if I'm moving someone into a house or a condo, I pick up dinner at I don't know if you've been there, the Platter Company in Burlington.
Nope.
Oh my God, the food! I don't know how they cook their food.
No paid advertisements for this video.
No, that's absolutely right.
Access storage in Burlington.
Yeah, love access storage. But I will go and what I'm saying is they have frozen dinners that are homemade.
Right.
And so when we're moving someone into a house or a condo, I'll go pick up dinner. And then as we're unpacking, about 3 o'clock, I'll stick it in the oven. So that when they come home, their table is set with their dishes, their cutlery, and dinner's in the oven. And so when they walk in the door, they can smell it. It's a really boutique business. We've really sort of hatcheted it out over the last couple of years so that, and I own it, so I can do what I want. So if I want to have dinner in the oven for someone when they come home, we can do that.
So can you actually split that in half, like your service in half, if I have to list the house, they haven't bought their house yet? And are you able to come in to organize the house to downsize before I list it?
We do that a lot.
Because from my end, that's what I would want, is somebody to come in and help downsize what's in there to make it easier for the home to be sold. And then they'll buy something, and then you can finish your half. So you can split it in half, so you can
absolutely
sort out the one house and then later sort out the second one?
We do that all the time. So a real estate agent will call us and say, I'm going to put this house up for sale, and can you go in and clean it up, downsize it, organize it. So we go in, first thing we do is we go to the basement, and then we work with the client and we can help them to downsize, and we can take anything they're not going to keep. I get my movers in and we get the stuff out of the house.
And you can store it? While they're listing the house?
I don't
or?
store it myself unless they're donating it,
Right.
and then I have a storage unit. But a lot of people will get storage units
Right.
until the house is sold. So we come in, we get all the extra stuff out. I have a cleaning staff. I have handy men, handy women. We can come in and, you know, fix holes in walls and stuff and do some painting if we need to, unless you have that service.
Right.
And we will prep the house for your stager to come in. I don't stage.
Right.
But we've done this often enough that I know. Take the naked picture of Aunt Mildred off the fireplace. I've done it. I've done it. I could tell you.
To be seen on a different episode. I'm not showing you.
I could tell you. I could tell you a story. But so we prep everything, and if there's a bookcase and it's filled with books and tchotchkes and stuff, we clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can set the books up the right way, take all the tchotchkes away, and take the personal pictures of the families off the walls.
Right.
That's the hardest.
It's always a difficult conversation.
It's so difficult. Because people are like, well, you know, that's my grandmother, or those are my kids, or that's my dog, or my cat. Right. But we explain to them that you want people to walk through the house and to feel that, oh, I could live in this house. This could be my house. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to see a picture of your grandmother because maybe I want my grandmother on that wall. So we can help with all of that. We get the house ready, and then I pick up the phone, I call you, and I say the house is ready to go.
Because, you know, getting the house prepped is one of the largest, at least from my point of view, from when I look at my clients, is getting the home ready.
Yeah.
Because at that point, they've done nothing, right? It's just the house is, this is how you live in it, you live in it.
Yes.
And I always say a staged home is not realistic. It's not lived in, it doesn't feel lived in. So I find that the largest anxiety is, what am I going to do to get the house ready? And in the meantime, I'm telling them, okay, we need to, you know, organize this and remove this. And then looking at me, and they're already spinning like, okay, I don't know how to do all this stuff. And what kind of time frame do we have? We want to list it as quickly as possible. Yep. And well, I guess now I'm just going to say, talk to Mary.
Yeah, and we come in and we can put it into little compartments, so room by room, so it's easier for them to understand that.
You know, delegate. If organizing in that is really stressing you out, let's find someone who will do it for you, and that way you can have a smooth move. I mean, because I want you to be happy going from the family home to your next move and say, this is exciting.
Yeah.
Not, I'm stressed to death.
And they are.
I don't want to do this. And they are. This is what I found in the past couple of years, especially with a few of them were fine with it. I guess they've just wrapped their head around the idea that they've been thinking about it for ages. And other ones where it was a kind of not a sudden decision to move, but it wasn't like it played out for a long time and they prepared themselves and they already started downsizing years before. So, then they find the condo they want. I had a couple, they didn't think they would find one in 5 minutes. They thought it was going to take months, right? Well, Sean, 5 minutes. You outdid yourself now. I said, I found your condo. She was like, we love it, we want it, but we're not ready.
So that's a great...
So if I had known you at the time, I would have said, talk to Mary. She'll organize you and no problem.
Yeah, that's a great point. The biggest challenge for people who are going to move, any move, is what do I do with my stuff?
Yeah.
And I hear that every single day.
Because that process starts from the day we decide to list the home, not just when you want to move, because we need to get things organized in the home to have it staged properly.
Right.
And immediately you're thinking, well, I got stuff everywhere.
Yeah, and people are working.
Yeah.
You know, you're working. People are going back to their offices now to work, so you're not in the house. You've got dogs, you've got cats, you've got, there's so much. And so most of the people that I talk to say, oh my God, what do I do with my stuff? And then almost everybody says to me at the end of the process, if I'd known about this service, I would have moved 5 years ago. The other challenge is people will think, okay, I'm going to move. I'm going to move in 2 years or 5 years, and they let it go. And I always
it goes.
Yeah, but
There's your 5 years.
Oh, of course. But I always say to people, you know what? If you think you're going to move, even within 2 years, start the process now. Do one room a month. Like, just start to get it organized. Because I've also seen with seniors, they something could happen. They could have a fall, and then you're in the hospital, and you're on the phone to somebody in your house. And you're trying to decide what needs to go, what you're going to donate, what you're going to take with you, but you're not right there doing it. So any of us, I've lived in my house 12 years.
Now, say we're not just pigeonholing seniors, because it can be anybody where their adult kids have moved out. So you could be in your 50s, 60s.
Yeah,
right?
But also anybody.
You just don't need the big house anymore.
Yeah, but anybody, I challenge anybody to say, there's nothing in my house that needs to be done. Because my house, I can tell you right now, I know 3 rooms right now where I could go in. My daughter would challenge me. She'd say, oh no, it's the whole house, Mom. But there's 3 rooms in my house where I could go in and start working on them right now. Because that's just the way we live. we live with the stuff we love. So if you're thinking of moving within 2 to 5 years, start the process now.
Well, and you can start the process now by contacting Mary if you would like more information on Downsizing Solutions. It's downsizing-solutions.ca.
Yes.
Or you can reach out to me, Sean Hartley with RE/MAX Team Gemini. You can comment on the video. You can just Google my name. It'll be everywhere. And I can connect you with the right people like Mary. Thank you very much for joining this episode of Changing Lifestyles with Real Estate. I will have more to come. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next one. Awesome. Thanks so much, Mary.
Thanks, Sean.
Love seeing you.
That was great.